everyone, I hope you're all well. I have a story time for you today, and it's going to include a lot of fangirling. I cannot get the smile off my face right now because this story makes me smile so much. This is the story of the time that I met my favourite pop group in the world, Bewitched, and they taught me how to Irish dance. It still doesn't feel real to me even now saying that sentence. I have with me here a notebook where I wrote down everything that happened, all my memories of the day, because I find that if you don't do that soon after the event, then you start to forget little details, and they're the little details that really make it amazing. So I have my notebook here with the details in, and I'm going to tell the story for you today, and I hope you enjoy. For those of you who haven't heard of Bewitched before, they were a pop group in the late 90s. And one of the songs you might have heard from them was C'est la vie. That's probably the most famous one. It's been kind of used around the internet recently and mixed with Ed Sheeran's Galway Girl because they kind of go together and things. That's maybe how you've heard of them if you haven't heard the name of the group. And they were around in the late 90s, and I was quite young at the time, and I was like a big fan of the Spice Girls. But then these girls came along. They were from Ireland, they were best friends. They could write their own music, perform, they had their own instruments and things, and I just thought that was amazing. And they knew how to dance as well, which the Spice Girls kind of did, but they done it well. They done like Irish dancing and stuff, so I thought they were really cool. This was at an age where they were like idols to me. Like, I would never call Taylor Swift my idol because I've always known that she was a real person. But when I was a kid, when I saw Bewitched on the TV, I idolised them. I didn't realise that they were real people, as crazy as that sounds. It never occurred to me that they were just normal people who went home, saw the family, and they just led normal lives when they weren't being pop stars and things. In my teens, I kind of rediscovered their music again when I was putting my music onto my MP3 player. And when I was listening to the albums again, I kind of stopped listening to the more novelty poppy stuff, the singles and things, and the album tracks are so good. They're so good, and people don't really realise the kind of music they do other than the singles, because the singles, oh my god, I'm fangirling again. But yes, I love Bewitched, and I love them more now for the album tracks and the songs that people don't normally hear. In 2014, I got the chance to meet them because they were bringing out an EP called Champagne or Guinness, and this was like 6 tracks that they were doing. They'd recently reformed, they were doing performances and things, and they wanted to write more music. But because they didn't have a record deal, they needed to somehow come up with the money. So for the bargain price of £50, people could go down and get an Irish dance lesson with them for an hour and a half. I met Bewitched at the Dance Attic Studios on the 24th of May 2014, and the Dance Attic Studios, that was even exciting to me, and I can't even remember why, but I remember hearing about the Dance Attic Studios when I was little, and to be there in person was very exciting to me. I don't know if they'd used it for rehearsals, but some pop star somewhere used to use the Dance Attic Studios for something. So when I heard that's where we were meeting, I was excited. I was already excited, but it just reminded me that that was somewhere special as well, and that really meant a lot to me. So we got quite early to the area of London we were meeting in. I can't remember the name of it, but we got there early and we were kind of waiting in Starbucks. This was me and my friend Lily, who came along with me to London. Lily didn't have a pass to get in, but she was just going to wait for me outside until I came out again. We're in like this shopping centre, and suddenly a load of people came in and were kind of standing by the doors, and I was like, what's going on? So I had a look out, and they all came inside because it was raining a little heavy. It wasn't even like particularly bad rain, it was just a little heavier than usual. And all these people decided to come into the building just to stand there and wait until the rain went off. If I did that in Scotland, I would never get anything done. So that really made me laugh, that these people felt the need to come in to protect themselves from the rain. It's just water, people. So anyways, after we had our Starbucks, we went along to the Dance Attic Studios and we were waiting outside, and I saw some of the people who had been in the session before us. I know some of the Bewitched fans from Twitter, so we were talking to them. They were really nice. And I also met some of the people from our group. Most of the people that I knew from Twitter were going in for the session before the one that I went into. So most of the people that were in the group that I was in, I didn't know already. So I quite liked that, because the people in the first session, despite me knowing them, they also knew the girls really well, and I thought it was nicer to be in a session where the girls didn't really know anybody, because I didn't really know them. This was my first time meeting them. So as lovely as all the people in Group 1 were, I'm glad that we kind of had a blank slate and things, because I was scared that if I was in a group with everybody else who already knew them, then they'd maybe get all chatty with them and I'd just be like standing quietly in the corner. But it didn't work out like that, which was really good. So we were waiting outside to go in, and I could hear them singing Roller Coaster and then C'est la vie a cappella without like any backing and stuff. They were rehearsing, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm actually here. But then the thing that really made my stomach drop and really got excited for me going in was in C'est la vie, there's like a kind of musical break where they start Irish dancing. So they got to that bit and they went C'est la vie, and then they went very quiet, and then the floorboard started banging as the feet were going, and at that moment I almost started crying because I was like, this is real, this is real, this isn't just somebody singing along to a track. They are actually in there singing and dancing. Oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry for all the fangirling in this video. I'm not even sure if it's going to make any sense. Hopefully I'm able to edit it, because oh my gosh, I hope you can feel my excitement through the camera here, because this was just so exciting to me. When they opened the door, like, their assistant Amber kind of checked our names off a list. She said that Lily couldn't come in, but Lily could wait outside for me. And then we went in, and it was so weird. It was really weird. Like, I knew they were in that room, and I knew that I was going to be meeting them, but walking in, I just suddenly felt terrified. It was so weird. It was like when a little kid meets Santa, but they don't really want to meet Santa as much as they thought they did. Like, I really wanted to meet Santa, but just seeing them was so super intimidating and overwhelming. So I walked in, and everybody else walked in as well, and I was the first one that Lindsay saw. So Lindsay came up to me, and everybody was saying their names and things. She said, "Hi, I'm Lindsay," and she was waiting for me to say my name, and I just said back to her, "Lindsay," because my brain wasn't functioning. She was so beautiful, she was so perfect in real life, and she was right there in front of me, and in that moment I couldn't remember my name. So I said to her, "Lindsay," and she went, "Oh, that's so cool, my name's Lindsay too." And I was like, no, my name's not Lindsay. My name's, and I couldn't remember my name, but eventually I remembered my name. She was so nice. She was so sweet. Lindsay's lovely. They're all lovely. I didn't introduce myself to Lindsay right away when I came in. I think she saw me first, but then somebody else said hello to her first. I'm not really sure what happened, but I said hello to Sinead, Keavy, Lindsay, and then Edele was away somewhere else at the time. So when she came back, we were just about to start warming up, and she gave me a hug, and I was like, oh my god. Edele is like the kind of lead singer. Like, they all sing really well, but like in the 90s when the band was kind of together and things, they always picked Edele as the one who got like the lead parts and things. So I feel like when it comes to Bewitched, most people are most excited to meet Edele. But they're all lovely. But yeah, so I got a hug from her, and I was like, Oh my gosh. So it was very, very, very surreal being in this room with all 4 girls from Bewitched, and their assistant was there, but she wasn't really paying attention. And in this room, there was only like 6 people. It was like 6 to 10 people. I haven't written down how many people were in here. It wasn't very many people at all. It really wasn't. We started doing a warm-up, and they started playing Fighting for the Drop, which is one of their newer songs. And they were kind of dancing, like moving around to this. And it was so funny seeing them like share private jokes and things. I don't remember this, but there's a part in the song where they go, yoo-hoo-hoo-hoo, and they were so flirty and like giggly and stuff when they done that part. And that's just so fun to see, because they were just being like normal people. Like, if me and my friends were in a dance class and things, we would be, kind of sharing private jokes and things. So it was funny to see them doing the same thing. Like, they are just normal people, but try telling my little kid brain that. Like, try telling me that they're real people. I just thought they were like otherworldly beings. We started learning like the basic Irish dancing move, and doing it very, very, very slowly was quite difficult. But when we sped it up, I managed to get the hang of it better. And Keavy was near the front trying to show us how to do it. And I kind of got the idea, and I was doing it, and then she pointed at me in the mirror, and I was like, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm doing it right? Or does that mean that I'm like such a bad example of this that nobody should be doing the same thing? What does that mean? So, like, Lindsay came over later, and she was like, how's it going and things? And I was like, no, I was like, Keavy pointed at me and she's like, no, that means it looks good. It looks good. I was like, oh, okay. I'm not like chucked out of dance class like 10 minutes in. That's okay then. Later on in the routine, we were kind of in like a line and things, and I ended up standing next to Edele, and oh my gosh, like I ended up being her partner. And every time I had to turn to her to do a dance move, she'd be like smiling at me, and I think my face was something like, what's this going on? Because my brain still couldn't function right. It just didn't believe that I was in this room with them. So she probably thought I was such a weirdo. So we were kind of like turning and doing different things. And in my head I was like, I still cannot believe I'm in a room with Edele, let alone dancing with her. This is crazy. The dance we were doing was very, very similar to Scottish country dancing, which is something that we learnt at school. It's the kind of dancing that you do at Ceilidh's, and doing the steps and things, it seemed very, very familiar. And Sinead was teaching us how to dance, and Sinead is actually like a qualified dance teacher and things. So she said to me, yeah, it is similar. This is like an older version. And then Keavy said in like the cute Irish kind of interview voice, it's a Ceilidh! Like, I can't do it right, but when they do kind of like squeaky voices and things, like funny voices in interviews and things, that's the voice she used when she said, it's a Ceilidh! I forgot all about that until earlier today, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is why I write things down, because like memories kind of come and go and things. And that's just such a funny story, and I didn't think to write that. When Bewitched doing shows and things, and they have dancers and things, they have what they call the Bewitched canon. And this is, everybody goes into a line at the front. It's a bit like Riverdance. And one by one, everybody goes 1, 2, 3. And it kind of gets past the next person then goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it goes right down the line. And then the person at the end sends it back. And then they kind of go, like they bring it back down again, and it looks so cool. Like it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like one at a time everybody does it, and then one at a time everybody brings it back down again. And oh gosh. So we were all lined up to do the Bewitched canon, and I somehow found myself between Edele and Keavy, and at that point I was like, this has got to be a dream. Like, in this line of about like 12 people, I've got like 2 members of Bewitched either side of me. Wait, how many people were there? The girl from Twitter, there was another girl, there were 2 friends who came together, and then there was me. and I think what happened was, I think that there was like 5 people. I don't think there was many more people in that room. I think there was 5 of us and then the 5 girls from Bewitched. There was like 9 people in the room, assistant Amber. There was 10 people in this room, and it was just insane to me. Also, to go back a little bit, when I was like going to London, my mum was like, how much did you pay for this dance class? And I said £50, and she was like, £50 for like a half-hour meet and greet and a dance lesson? Tell them they should take more money off you. And I was like, Mum, if they take more money off me, I can't afford to go. Yeah, there we go. So it was just crazy being in this room with so few people. It really was. Like, there was almost nobody in this room. So yeah, we were doing the Bewitched canon, and at one point they messed up the counting and things, and it didn't go the way that everybody thought it was going to go. So I wasn't meant to be on the end of this line, but at one point I accidentally ended up on the end of the line. So we do the Bewitched canon, and I go 1, 2, and I look, and there's no one to my right. And I was like, oh my gosh, nobody told me what to do if I'm at the end of the line. So then I quickly looked back, brought my arms down, and then looked at Edele, and she just kind of like continued it, and it went back down the line again. And afterwards she was like, you've done so well though. And I was like, I didn't even think about what to do until that moment. And then I was like, ah! So... But then they realised that the lines had been messed up a little bit in the middle, and we realised we didn't have to like switch sides and things, which we had been doing beforehand. So everything worked out, and I didn't have to be at the end of the line again. But it was funny for like the 2 seconds that it was. Looking back at it now, it was hilarious. Yeah, apparently me and Edele swapped places because there were no Bewitched members going forward at a certain point. Like, it was every second person went forward, and then every second person went forward in the second group, and there was nobody going forward, so she was kind of helping them, and that's why we swapped places at this particular point in the dance. And then I didn't realise that I'd end up at the end of the canon because of that, but then we figured it out again later. We finished doing our dancing and things, and Amber had like filmed some of it, but I've not ever seen that video. She never sent it to anybody, so I don't know what it looked like. And at one point she went out and took a phone call. So she was the one who was kind of organising, okay guys, this is what's going to happen next, this is what's going to happen next. So we finished our dancing, and then we went back to like where our stuff was, and the Bewitched girls were just kind of in front of the mirror, and they were doing the makeup and things. And one of the other girls who was in our group came up to me and she was like, yeah, that was really fun. And then she was like, do we just go now? Because, the girls were just kind of redoing the makeup, and they hadn't really said anything to us about what was happening next, because that's usually what Amber would do. But Amber was on a phone call. So I was like, I think we can hang around for a bit. I think there's still things that are going to happen. At some point during this point, Lily came in the room. And this was a little funny story in itself. She'd been waiting in the corridor, and Sinead came out and gave her a smile. And she said to Sinead, is it okay if I go in? Have you finished? And she said, yeah, it's fine, go on in. So Lily appeared, and she didn't realise that Sinead was like a member of the band. She thought Sinead was like one of the assistants, and she was like, she just had like an assistant air about her. And I was like, that's probably because she was in like dance teacher mode while she was teaching everybody how to dance. But yeah, she genuinely didn't realise that Sinead was part of the group. She thought that was just somebody who was in there to help. Lily was in the room at some point during this. I don't think that's happened quite yet, because I think she would have taken my photo for me. But anyways, Edele came over and she asked if anybody wanted anything signed or any pictures and things, and I was like, I'd love a picture, because I'd never met them before, and that would just have been like a dream to me. And she also asked everybody what their favourite song from the EP was, as everybody was getting ready and things. And I said Fighting for the Drop, because I really love that one. It was like my ringtone for a while, and I need to make it my ringtone again. And Edele also said I looked very red after dancing, which doesn't surprise me, because my face goes so red constantly, and I was wearing quite it wasn't the best top to be wearing whilst dancing, and also my face goes very red when I get embarrassed and things as well, so it was probably a combo of dancing and also being in the room with my idols. Wow, I'm such a klutz today. Keavy then got up next and she said photo time. So my hands were shaking because I decided to like take the photos for everybody. I volunteered to because Amber was out the room. So I got like the camera up and in the viewfinder I could see like the picture and my hands started shaking because I realised in like a couple of minutes that was going to be me and I was finally going to have a picture with Bewitched, and I was like, this can't be real. So I was like trying to take pictures and also trying not to like hyperventilate at the same time. I got my group photo with Bewitched and then I got a couple of selfies. I didn't manage to get one with Keavy, but it's totally fine. I've met her before. And I got like the other three in that. And I wasn't very good at like getting the right angle and things. And the lighting was weird. And Lindsay was like, if you hold it up above you, that will get like a better view and things. So it did turn out quite good in the end. And then I also got one with Edele and then one with Sinéad. And I told Sinéad that I had one of her denim jackets because she'd auctioned one off like the year before for charity and things, and I thought like if that had been my jacket then I'd want to know who it went to and things, so I was like, I got your denim jacket, and she was like, oh wow, and then she like turned to Edele and said she got my jacket and things, so I was telling them about that, and then Keavy kind of disappeared and things, and Amber came back in and asked if everybody had got everything, and we'd been hoping for a group photo with Bewitched, but Keavy had gone, so Amber went to try and get her back, but we decided it didn't matter because we'd already had like so many photos. We'd had like individual and like, you know, with selfies and things, so none of us were really that bothered that she'd left. Like, that feels mean, but what I mean is like they'd already spent so much time with us, they'd had such a busy day that it wasn't really mattering to us that we didn't get everything there. So I think we maybe got a group photo of like just the people who went along, but I've never seen that, so I don't know, I can't remember. And we were also joking about them signing the CDs in the pub because the night before they'd been signing their EPs in a random London pub, and Amber had set them up at like a table and they were just passing down the things and they were like, that was very glamorous, very glamorous. Like, these are the girls who have like toured with like NSYNC and Britney Spears and stuff, so to be signing CDs in a pub and nobody was like paying attention to them, I was like, guys, if you just told me what pub, I would have came around, I would have fangirled. And then the last thing I have here is Lindsay asked me where I work because I said I had to like beg for a day off. I was selling fish at the time. And I said, nobody wants fish on a Saturday night. And then Lindsay and Edele both said at the same time, I do. And Edele wanted to know specifically where I worked and things. And I, like, to this day, I have no idea why she specifically wanted to know exactly where I worked. I don't know whether she was like trying to politely ask about my accent. Edele, if you're watching, I have two parents from Liverpool and I've grown up in Scotland my whole life, so it's a kind of weird mix there. But she has like a sister who lives in the Wirral, so I don't know if it's maybe, you know, she had like a kind of Scouse accent and wondered if I was from around there and things. I have no idea. But she was like really wanting to know specifically where I worked, and I was like telling her, but at the same time she was like, okay, and then walked away, and like me and all the other girls were just like, what was that all about? What just happened? The other members of Bewitched left, and us fans got a group picture together before leaving, and that is the end of that. What I basically learned from that experience, what the moral of the story maybe is dreams come true. Like, the things that you never ever imagine will come true as a kid, and even as an adult they seem very unlikely, they can come true. It's like, if you dream it, if you believe it, there's a small chance it can happen if you just keep your eyes and ears out. And that was by far one of the best things that's ever happened to me. I just loved it, because that was like an hour and a half that we spent in a room with Bewitched, very, very, very intimate. I didn't like really have in my head anything planned as to what I wanted to say to them, because it had never ever occurred to me that anything like that would happen. But I'm so glad it did. It really brings a smile to my face, and I hope that this video has made you smile as well. And that's the time that Bewitched taught me how to Irish dance. And I'm sorry it's a mess. I'm sorry it probably doesn't make any sense, and I'm sorry to future Kate who has to try and edit this. If you never ever see it, it will be because I'm just talking a load of rubbish. But yes, and I haven't shown you the picture yet. This is the picture. That's me in the middle with the girls from Bewitched. And it was just wonderful. I can't say that enough. I do appreciate now that they are real people. It's probably awkward for them to see people fangirling so much like this. But to me, I know they're human, but it's always going to be like a glamorous, amazing, adoring air around them, even though I know now that they are normal people and they do lead normal lives. Like, it's never going to feel real to me. So any time that I'm able to interact with Bewitched, even in a little way, even when they do things like my tweets and things, it still just feels amazing to me. Thank you so much for watching this video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it makes sense. If you liked Bewitched as a kid, or like if you just like Bewitched, let me know down below. Which songs did you like particularly? What are your favourites? I'd love to hear about it. And if you didn't like Bewitched, but there's another band that you really, really loved, let me know down below, because I'd love to hear about them too. And thank you so much for watching, everybody. Cheerio. Thanks again for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see another one like it, check out over here. And YouTube have suggested another one you might enjoy over here. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with all my latest videos. Thanks again, everyone. Cheerio.